it's flooding open. It's a picture in the pulpit and your blind devotion. There's something breaking at the brick of every wall. It's holding all that you know. So tell me, do you want to go? Where it's carrying on colored lines, where the better ways are brighter than night. Impossible comes true, saving over you. This is the greatest show.
Hi! I am Paige Lebs.
My name is Bret Williams.
I'm Josh Elliott.
Today we are going to be reviewing The Greatest Showman.
Welcome to the channel, Lauren. Okay, so The Greatest Showman is the newest musical by, I can't remember their names, but they did La La Land and Dear Evan Hansen.
It's Benj Pasek Justin Paul.
It's based on an actual person, but like 90% of the stuff that happens in this movie didn't happen.
Yeah. It's about this guy who's like, you know what, I want to make people be seen the way they should be, to where they're not freaks, and everybody should be seen as their unique selves. So he puts together this show where all these freaks can be free from the like, oh, you're so ugly and you're so terrible.
This takes place in the mid-1800s, and this was kind of like when the term circus was first invented.
Yeah, they said it during the movie.
Someone walked up to Barnum or whatever, and they were like, you circus freaks, whatever. And he was like, that word you used to describe my show, I liked it a lot. And then like pans out.
It's a circus.
So let's go ahead and talk about the pros of this movie. The cinematography is really good. There are a lot of good shots in this movie. Yeah. The choreography is great. There's a lot of good numbers in this.
Costumes are beautiful, and makeup with the fake beard, that looked very good.
That was really natural looking.
Hugh Jackman, he always gets deep into his roles.
I despise Hugh Jackman's singing voice. He's constantly singing under pitch and then uses vibrato to try to mask that he's not singing the correct notes. And I think he just kind of skates his way through and is not actually a good singer.
It's so powerful,
no, his acting is phenomenal.
No, his voice is so powerful.
No, if he did something straight tone and I could hear just his vocal quality and see his acting, then maybe I'd like him.
But I feel like that makes his voice so much better, because there's those really intense moments and he just like goes for it, and like the vibrato's there, and even though it's like annoying, it's still so
I don't mind vibrato on long notes, don't get me wrong, but when it's literally every note is going I don't like that. But I love his acting, don't get me wrong. He's definitely a great actor, and I would love to see him do any role.
Some problems that I have with this movie, the majority of it felt like a montage to me. Like, the scenes that happened, they just went by so quick. And then they went into musical numbers that just felt like music videos. I just would have liked to get longer, more drawn-out moments in the film.
I definitely get what you mean if we're talking about the beginning, because the beginning goes by really quickly. Yeah. Once they get to Jenny Lind, it just goes...
I felt this film was actually pretty predictable too. I just felt like a lot of moments in this movie I was like, I'm gonna call this, and it ended up being right.
I mean, I think it was cheesy, but for a reason. It's a musical. I get it. It's kind of iffy.
It's a family movie as well.
Yeah. I guess everything can't be a deep, cool, non-predictable drama.
And see, my thing is, I don't disagree with you, but I didn't care. Zac Efron and Zendaya's relationship, it's very underdeveloped. They exchange a few looks with each other, and then the next thing you know, they're in love. And when I was watching the movie, I was like, yeah, it's not developed enough. I don't know how I feel about this. And then they started singing Rewrite the Stars, and I'm like, I want them to be together.
There were a lot of moments in that number where I was like, how the f are they not dead? Like a part where he literally jumps when she's swinging and
oh my gosh, have you seen the behind the scenes of like all of the outtakes?
Yes!
Failing.
Oh my god.
In Zac Efron's voice in Rewrite the Stars, he goes, why don't we rewrite the stars? Meant to be. And he like goes from to
I will say that his dancing though was really impressive.
It was.
There's a lot of things in this movie that like are unrealistic, so you have to have that mindset going in. Like, there are freaking lions.
It's definitely like a fantasy kind of musical where you're there to have a good time and there to enjoy the visual effect, like a circus.
But other than those like few cons I had, I really enjoyed this movie. I really did.
Most of the problems in this movie I could forgive, but one I couldn't. It's about P.T. Barnum creating this freak show. I don't want to call them freaks, I'll call them the performers. It's not really about them. Like, it doesn't really focus on them.
I was expecting that number with the lady with the beard. Like, I thought that was gonna hit me harder, but it really didn't.
The music's really good.
I did enjoy it.
I'm gonna get ready in the mornings with that soundtrack. Like, I already know.
And And the thing that I think is impressive is that even the weaker songs are still enjoyable. Like, I think Michelle Williams' song Tightrope is the weakest song, and I've been listening to that a lot more recently.
Yeah.
What's the one of Zac Efron and Hugh Jackman when they're at the bar?
Oh,
that's a jam.
I loved
liked it.
I
that
loved
one
like the
so
choreographs,
much.
like the shot glasses and everything.
Oh,
like
that was
so
so
cool.
that
The
was
bartender.
good.
This isn't Singing in the Rain. It's not like a hella good musical.
It's
but,
not
like,
going to be a classic.
It's still
You
pretty solid.
Should we go to final verdicts?
Yeah.
Sure.
Unfortunately, unlike the other people on this couch, I didn't enjoy it as much as everyone else did. I had seen a lot of behind-the-scenes things beforehand because I follow Zendaya on like every social media. I'm in love with her. So I was excited. I was like, gonna be a great movie. I was hoping for an instant classic kind of musical movie that drama teachers will show to their kids in like 30 years. It's one of the newer musicals that went straight to movie and wasn't on Broadway or did anything else first. It's interesting. It was these songs were written for the screen, but I don't think it did everything it could have. I definitely agree with it should have focused more on the performers rather than P.T. Barnum, even though I love Hugh Jackman, my boy. I really liked the music, even though autotune was heavily used. I enjoyed it, but not enough to go back and see it again. I saw it a solid once, so I'm not going to buy it on DVD. I'm not going to go see it again another time. Might listen to the soundtrack maybe once in a blue moon. It was enjoyable when I went there. It didn't stick with me. Honestly, I don't remember the plot, so I'll give it a solid 6.5 out of 10.
I'm glad I saw this last night before I reviewed it because I remember a lot. I do agree with a lot of things Paige said. There was a lot of pacing issues that kind of bugged me. I felt like montagey for the majority of the film. Hugh Jackman, I'm always willing to see a movie by him because he's one of my favorite actors. The musical numbers, I wasn't really a fan of them. They felt like pop songs. I kind of wanted kind of a different style. The autotune kind of ruined it for me for the most part, but I did like the majority of the songs. It was a good watch. I'd watch it again. So I'd give it a 7.
If you don't focus as hard on the whole film process and like all like the details, like there were like a lot of things that could be better. I mean like the plot in general. But I think it was a really good like family movie. It's a really good movie, just kind of sit with like your kids and just enjoy. I think the music's really good. I know that I'm gonna go back and like jam to that. I think it was pretty good. A lot could be better. I'd probably watch it again. I'll give it a 7.
Everything that they have said about this movie is true. It does have structural issues. It is not really about the freaks, even though it kind of should be. It does go for a cliche sometimes, and it's a little too overly sentimental. I don't care. I loved every second of this movie. I loved all of the music. Even though, Bret's right, it can be like a little too much like a music video, but I still got a kick out of it. Anytime I started noticing a problem, the movie found a way to charm me into just forgetting about it. And I think that's really admirable. I know it's not going to become a classic, but I still think if you're looking for an original movie musical, this one is definitely not bad. I'm going to give it an 8. Final verdict is we round up to 1, so 7.1.
So 7.1 burned Zac Efron's out of 10.
Oh!
So what did you think about The Greatest Showman? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Comment and let us know.
If you comment,
I will form an angry mob and burn down your most prized possession.
I'll grow a beard for you. I really will.
Peace out.
Thanks for watching. Click here to subscribe and here to watch our last video. Bye.